Hello there. Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Knox to Nuggets. My name is Oluwayomi Ute, and it's such a joy to come your way this very beautiful Monday morning. Thank God for the gift of life. We can never stop thanking God for the gift of life. Your alarm did not wake you up. If you think your alarm did, take that alarm clock, no matter how loud it is, add speakers and take it to the graveyard, and let's see how many dead bodies get up. So clearly, your alarm did not wake you up. So every time you see a new day, you just learn to say, "Thank you, Jesus," because it's of His mercies that we are not consumed. So, this very beautiful day, I've come to you continuing from where I stopped last week, talking about the elephant in the room. Last week, I had the story that was about a man who bought a car, if you remember, and he had celebrated the car. I perceived that car must be a machine. And then at 3 a.m., in the middle of the night, a security man had called him to say, "Hey, sir, your engine is running." And he was like, "How can my engine be running? What happened?" He ran downstairs and found the engine actually running, switched it off, and went back to bed. Though puzzled and wondering what happened here. I have my keys, I have the remote, and yet the car started all by itself, or did something started? Of course, he went back to bed. The next day, exactly 3 a.m. again, he got a call from a security man. "Sir, the engine of the car is turned on again and is running." And then the wife went wild and began to pray fast. Pray, take the anointing oil, sprinkle over the car. But then they eventually used the remote to switch off the engine, and they went back to bed. The next day, 3 a.m., the car came on again. This time they felt, now there must be a demon attached to you. Let's go to the pastor, let's go pray. But then they still switched off the car with the remote. The next day, 3 a.m., the car came on again. This time it's beyond a pastor, we need a spiritualist. So they went and did everything. And that one said to them, "This car must have a demon following it. For you to preserve your life, sell off this car." But just before he sold off the car, thank God, before he sold it off, he then took the manual and went through the manual and discovered that at a certain time, if the engine is not running, the car will automatically turn itself on because of the weather for where it was made. So that it doesn't get frozen, it starts its engine and it gets itself warmed up. And that was all. And then he had to take it to an electrical engineer who then reconfigured that. "Look, now, car, you are now in the tropics, so there's nothing to deal with in this area. So let's come out of it." And then reprogrammed it for tropics. And from then on, the car stopped starting at 3 a.m. And we said, many times we say things are acts of God when they are actually us. And so, taking it further from there, talking about the secret, how do you deal with the elephant in the room? And the truth is this: we all face these things one time or the other. We all face elephants in the room. The question is, how do you deal with them? For most people, we ignore it. We just take our eyes off and we want to pretend that it does not exist. We want to assume there is no elephant in the room. We want to condition ourselves to live with it. The truth is this: whatever you don't confront, you cannot solve. It will linger, and trust me, it will get bigger and bigger. If that elephant was occupying 1 square meter, it will become two, it will become three, it will become four, and it keep getting bigger and bigger. So the secret is not ignoring it. The secret is dealing with it. You cannot assume everything you don't like that happens to you is an act of God. Many times it's not God. Many things we attribute to God has nothing to do with God. They are the results of our choices. Remember, results are nothing but consequences, consequences of our actions. Where you are today is a function of where you were or the things you did yesterday. And that's the way it is. So many times when we think, oh, it's the other person, and we keep pointing finger, looking for the problem. Sometimes you want to look at the other three fingers pointing back at you. So to deal with the elephant in the room, number one, name it. Call it by name. Don't call a spade an agricultural implement. Call it a spade. If you call a spade an agricultural instrument, what will you talk about the tractor? And that's where a lot of us miss it. We don't want to call anything by name. I don't want it to be said that you're missaid. So because I don't want my name called, I want to avoid it. I want to assume it does not exist. I want to pretend as if I did not see it. It doesn't solve the problem. The elephant only gets bigger. So to deal with the elephant in the room, number one, name it. What's that elephant? The moment you name it, you have identified it. You have looked at it critically. You have been able to put your finger on it. And the truth is this, why is it called an elephant in the room? The truth is, it's actually obvious. Everybody can see it. We all know this is the challenge, but nobody wants to talk about it. So number one, identify it. Now, having identified it, what else do you need to do? Confront it. Now, this is where the issue is. How do you confront it? If it has to do with somebody else, remember, soft words pacify anger. How you approach it matters. Before approaching that person, turn it around in your mind. Ask yourself, if I'm the one in this position, what will be my why? Why am I doing what I am doing? Somebody walked up to my office recently and asked me a question that got me thinking. And that question was actually the result of what I spoke about on social media. Today, Monday, July 24. And if you've been following me on social media, every day I try to have a post. Every day I try to have a post. And for the last 1.5 years, to the glory of God, consistently I've had a post every day. And so it's the word tolerance. The person came to my office and said, is understanding and tolerance the same? And I had to pause and ask myself that question too. Is it? And I said, no, they're not. But understanding leads to tolerance. If I can know why you do what you do, I will know how to handle it. So in dealing with the elephant in the room, when it has to do with the other person, start from the place of understanding. Try to understand the person. No, oh, I have found the elephant in the room. Where is my gun? Where is my bow and arrow? Let me fire. No, it doesn't happen that way. You might end up breeding more elephants. So first, understand. Try to see from the person's viewpoint. Why is this person doing this? From there, you will get the right language, the right tone, the right way, the right manner to approach the person. So I noticed this. Nobody seems to be talking about it, but can we have a conversation? If it's an office setting, don't go to the next staff meeting or the next board and say, I have found out the problem we have in this company. It's Mr. A. So Mr. A, let's talk about it. It doesn't solve anything. So the first thing you want to do is talk to the person one-on-one. So this thing, why? Why are you doing what you're doing? This is the result of these actions and is impacting negatively on the organization. Can we sit down and have a conversation and let me show you another perspective? Nobody is ordinarily a spoiler. Nobody is ordinarily a sadist. But some people are spoilers. You want to say, yes, I agree. Some people are sadists. You want to say, yes, I agree. But they were not born that way. Something got them there. Like the quote that I don't know who said it, that a hurting person will naturally hurt you. You can't give what you don't have. You can't be hurting inside and give another person joy. It's not going to happen. You can't be hurting inside and celebrate another person. It's not going to happen. So a hurting person hurts. So you want to ask the person, why are you doing what you're doing? Take the person through a process. If you can help the person, do. If you cannot, you can refer the person. Thank God we are in a knowledge age. There are people everywhere. There are counselors, there are therapists, person could talk to. Sometimes what is actually affecting the person has no bearing with now. Maybe something the person has been dealing with for years and nobody has been bold enough to confront it. Everybody avoids the person. You can just say, no, let's have the conversation. When the person becomes better, everything gets solved. So don't look at it from your own gain, from your own perspective. Look at it a bit from the other person's perspective, dealing with the elephant in the room. But many times, I dare say a lot of times, we are actually the elephant in the room. Unfortunately true. Sometimes it's our attitude that's the elephant in the room. So what do? You've got to learn to also work on yourself. Why are you doing that thing? Why? It's been said attitude is everything. Attitude is how you do that thing you do. So you might be very hardworking, but cantankerous. Nobody wants you. You might be very good with numbers, a great finance person, but you have the wrong attitude. Nobody wants it. So it's beyond skill. It's beyond you knowing what to do and how to turn the company around. It's about the way you go about it. And particularly when you are the boss, nobody wants to confront you. But one of my quotes is, to thyself be true. Ask yourself, am I the elephant in the room? Yes. Is it me? Am I the challenge? Before you go pointing to every other person, look inwards, reflect. The way I spoke to that person, is it right? The way I pushed this agenda, is it right? To thyself be true. Sometimes because of our upbringing, we're used to the command and control. So I command you to do this and I command you to do that, but it doesn't always work like that. Sometimes it's you just living the life and people are ready to follow you. So you want to stop and ask yourself, when somebody else is interesting, but could it be me? Could it be my attitude? Could it be the way I speak to people? Could it be the way I approach people? Am I saying something? Am I communicating right? There are things you want to look at in dealing with the elephant in the room. The first thing to do is look inwards. Yes, it could be that person that you are pointing at, but are you also contributing something to it? Your attitude. Dealing with the elephant in the room. When the huge elephant is debt, are you spending more than you are earning? Can you cut off from some things? So you know. And somebody said to me recently, it's just the thing. Every inflation has eaten up all my income. I just don't have anything. Before you say I just don't have anything, ask yourself again, what can you do with the pot of oil? That little that you have, is there something you can do with it to multiply it? Is there something you can do with it to add more value? Money flows, it's currency in the direction of value. So if you want more money, if the elephant is lack of money, can you add value to yourself? Can you become a better person? Can you ask yourself, on the scale of 1 to 10, how am I faring? 1 being the weakest, 10 being the strongest. So you're analyzing yourself. And when you say, I'm like number 3 or number 4, what do I need to do to move myself from number 3 to or number 4 to number 7 or number 8? Because the moment you add value, more money will come. Because money is currency. It flows in the direction of value. Dealing with the elephant in the room. Sometimes you think, oh, I have found out the elephant is that next door neighbor. He is just troublesome. Yes. But what are you doing to ignite that trouble? You see, the secret is all about you. You. It's about you. You don't have control over the other person, but you have control over you and what you do with you. And the you show to the world matters a great deal. So I'm not here to, I'm sure somebody said, oh, dealing with elephants in the room. Let me go and find out how to deal with that person, how to do that. The secret's actually you. You are the secret. If you handle you, somehow every other thing aligns. Will other people still upset you? Yes, they will. But you'll not be reacting, you'll be acting. You'll be coming from the position of strength because of what you know, dealing with the elephant in the room. Sometimes our reactions is what causes the trouble. But if you are well prepared, if you have schooled yourself, if you have upskilled, rather than reacting, you are acting. You almost can see that trouble coming and you have figured out exactly what to do. And thank God for everyone who is on this call who is a Christian and you have the Spirit of God in you. As many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. So you have that advantage. You have that advantage. The Holy Spirit is a huge advantage. If you can learn to listen to Him every step of the way, you are sorted. So before you point that finger, before you call that person, before you name that elephant, the secret is you looking words. What can I do better? How do I speak better? Can I calm down? Can I slow myself down and match up with that? You know, there's a story, I'm sure I've shared it before in some past episodes. Growing up, because I had a tendency to stammer, I speak like 1,000 words per minute. I just go off and then I'm done. So this particular day, I walked into my pastor's office and God bless him, Bishop Michael Okonkwo. I really thank God for him. But that day I didn't find it funny at all. I felt like shooting. I felt like taking a bow and an arrow. I felt like everything. But thank God he did. So I got into his office this beautiful day. And my usual man, after the good morning or good afternoon, I think it was evening, I was coming from work. I just, and he said, I can't hear you. And I'm wondering, you can't hear. So I don't know what you said. So I said it again, and he said, I can't hear you. By this time, I was getting angry. Now, if you've been with stammerers before, you understand what I'm saying. They get easily worked up. Not because they want to. Now, I'm talking from experience. It's the way it is. I was already getting... So I said again, I can't hear you. Now, he's older than me, he's bigger than me, he's my pastor. I can't get angry. So I had to pause. I said, you're talking so fast. I can't pick what you're saying. I said, but sir, you understand? I said, I don't understand. Can you say it again? Then I tried to say it slowly. But before I got halfway, I taken off speed again. I said, I heard the first few words, but the others I couldn't hear. And I'm like, oh God, what's this? By this time, I was getting very worked up. But then I couldn't storm out. So I calmed down. I'm sure he saw me panting and trying to control myself. He didn't bother. It was like, well, you're ready. So then I came back again And I said it. I tried to take it slowly. By the time I got 3 quarters of the way, I mumbled off the others. I said, "Oh, I heard more of it this time. But I didn't hear the last bit. Can you say it again?" At this time, I felt like killing somebody. But then I swallowed it in again. And then I said it. So then, I could hear you now. So, you can actually slow down. You can talk better. Or like, whatever. After all, you've heard me, sir. And I left. But as I went down the stairs, it dawned on me, I can actually talk slower. And I didn't stammer. Eh. Then I began to practice it. Then I tried it again. Then I tried it again. At times I was getting upset with myself. I was trying to, I would get angry, then I'll tell myself, slow down, then I'll say it again. Now, the question is this: if I didn't deal with it then, would I have been here today? The answer is probably a capital no, because I would have been of no value to anybody on air, because I would have said 1,000 words per second, and you won't understand, you won't hear it. Then maybe when I was speaking, you're asking me to transcribe and type it so that somebody can read if it's visual. But thank God I did. Thank God I took it in. I will still speak slow, so fast at times, but then I remind myself, if you could speak slowly just a moment ago, you can slow it down again. So when I became a boss, and one of my staffs walked up and said, "Man, can I ask you a question?" I said, "What?" I said, "Man, at times you speak so fast, I can't pick it. Can you help me?" I remember that thing. I said, "Oh, you have not perfected it yet. You started learning that lesson almost 20 something years ago. You are still at it. So I said to him, "Don't worry, I will try." I said, "But you know what? Can I empower you when I go so fast and I lose you? Can you say, 'Ma, please, I didn't get that?'" He looked at me and said, "Yeah." I said, "Yes. I would say it again. This time I'll be more conscious of it." And then fast forward to, like, I think last year, somebody walked up to my office again. I said, "Man, I enjoy Knox to Nuggets. When you're Knox to Nuggets, I hear you so clearly. But man, when you're talking to me in the office, sometimes I can't pick it." And I reminded myself, I said, "You still need to learn this." So I said to him, "Oh, yes, I have tried to learn it. But you know what? You also can tell me if I go so fast that I didn't hear it." So I began to get more conscious of it, and I began to slow myself down. Now, for somebody hearing me say, "Oh, really? Does this person ever stammer?" But that was where I was coming from. That tells me there is no elephant that's too big to deal with. I could have said, "That's how I was born." I could have said, "That is me. If you can't take it, God bless you." I could have said, "It's my God given skill to talk 1,000 words per minute." But thank God I learned to take correction. Thank God I could slow myself down. And thank God I took it in then, that I may be where I am today. The secret of dealing with the elephant in the room is you. SWOT yourself. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What opportunities are available? And what threats are around you? When you find your strengths, strengthen your strengths. What is a strength today can be lost tomorrow if you don't improve on it, because things are changing almost every second. Then the areas of weakness, what can you do about them? If it's something you can partner with another person to overcome, please collaborate. But if it's something you've got to work on, like I had to work on my number of words per second, work on it. You are not there yet. You are not perfect. Perfection is a journey. We are all on the road to perfection. Nobody can claim to have gotten there yet. The day you become perfect, you will exit. As long as you're in this world, there is something imperfect about you. So never stop improving yourself. Dealing with the in the room, you need to continually engage in self development. Then find the opportunities. The opportunities around you, how well are you using them? How well are you taking advantage of them? How well are you selling your gift to the world? Because there's so much in you that the world needs. A songwriter said, I need you and you need me. We are all part of one body. I need what you have. You need what I have. If you don't bring what you have to the table, you are depriving me of that thing. And then what else? Find out the threats around you and know how to mitigate. How do you handle those threats? When you have done that, you have strengthened yourself and positioned yourself for greatness. There's greatness in you. The moment you can take out the elephant in the room, you discover there's so much room. God has made room for you. There's so much in you that the world is waiting for. The moment you take out the elephant, you see the green grass all there for you, just for your taking. But if it's somebody else, deal with empathy. Sit where they are sitting. Find out why they do what they do. Help them. You can never become perfect. So sometimes you want to learn to excuse the imperfection of others. The same way you want people to tolerate you, you may need to tolerate them. Talking about tolerating people, I discovered that tolerance is not acceptance. Sometimes it's not accepting them for who they are. No, sometimes it's you staying to be who you are. It's giving people the right that you claim for yourself. It's understanding people because you also want to be understood. But tolerance, somebody said, is patience with boundaries. There's got to be boundary. And that is why at times we struggle. It's not accepting everything and just taking it all in. As long as it's not in conflict with your personal values, you can ignore. But the moment it's in conflict with your personal values, then you've got to stand for it. Remember, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. So, somebody said, you get what you expect and you deserve what you tolerate. So, in tolerance, you've got to learn balance. Don't say, oh, PY said tolerate everybody. No, your guide must be your personal values. If it's not in conflict with your personal values, then let it go. Agree to disagree. But the moment it's in conflict with your personal values, stand your ground and say no. You see, at the end of the day, it comes back to you. To deal with the elephant in the room, the secret is you. And I pray for you that God will give you wisdom because you need it in maintaining balance and dealing with the elephant in the room. And so that's it for today. Thank you so much, everyone who has been on this call. Thank you for being with me on this call. I don't take it for granted at all. Like I always say, please like the video, share it, let somebody out there know there's something called Knocks to Nuggets. Go to my YouTube page and like the channel. Pass your comments. Let me have your feedback. And until I come your way next week, Monday, in another edition of Knocks to Nuggets, don't ever forget it. If you can think it, you can be it, and you can have it. And as always, together we win. God bless you. Have a fantastic week ahead. Love you. Bye for now.